Hey, welcome back to Everyday Economics. It's the podcast that helps you learn about the economic world happening around you every day. I'm your host, Chris Krug. I'm the CEO of the Franklin News Foundation. We're a 501c3 nonprofit and nonpartisan news organization. Everyday Economics is a production of America's Talking Network, and you can subscribe to all of our podcasts at americastalking.com. To support Everyday Economics, please make a tax-deductible charitable contribution by clicking the link in the show description. We're recording this episode on Friday, December 6th. And joining me, as always, however, this time from what appears to be a beautiful little slice of the world, it's Dr. Orphe Divounguy. He's a PhD economist. Dr. O, you're in San Diego. I'm in frigid suburban Chicago today.
Yeah, believe it or not,
lucky dog.
San Diego was a little cooler than usual.
Oh, yeah. You can tell by the palm trees how cool it is there. Hey, every Monday, the readers of the Center Square have an opportunity to get the lowdown from you on what's coming up on the economic calendar in the week ahead. This show is dedicated to that. This is the companion to that column that runs at the Center Square. And so tell me, what is happening in the week ahead?
Yeah, so we're going to have the consumer price index. So the first of the two inflation reports for the month of November. And I think that's going to be interesting. I think inflation could come in right on track, moving towards the 2% inflation. Why am I saying that? Well, I'm saying we look at the jobs report for November, and the jobs report for November was at the top, slightly harder than expected, but cooling, headed in the right direction. Wage growth consistent with 2% inflation, at 4.4% year over year, with 2% productivity gains. You basically have the 2% inflation there. And so things are moving. Private sector employment stable at 1.3%, which is pretty much the pace that we had before the pandemic. So, things are normalizing. And so I expect inflation to continue to normalize. Of course, we're probably going to see that services is still somewhat hot. Partly due to, you look at housing is adjusting slowly, back to normal. But we already know that it's expected. And so, the inflation report should be pretty good. The Fed should continue to normalize policy, right? So now we're looking at the probability of a rate cut in December up to 87%, I think. Last time, 87% as of today.
Okay.
So I think we're on pace to get that rate cut in December. Things are looking good for that.
So that's coming on Wednesday. We're gonna get all that data dumped on us on Wednesday, December 11th.
Yes.
We're also going to get jobless claims coming up this week. That's coming out on Thursday. That'd be the initial jobless claims.
Yeah. And then change here as well.
Okay. I wanted to talk to you about that. What is the state of employment right now on a broad scale that you're seeing?
You look at the employment numbers that we got today, and they're basically at a very low. The layoff rate is very low. The job gains are kind of slightly higher than the pre-pandemic pace of about 181,000 average job gains. Right before during the Trump presidency, essentially.
Right.
And you're at about 227,000. Wage growth 4% year over year, stable. Employment looks good. Even initial claims, the 4-week moving average of initial claims, and I mentioned this in our column last week. Moving in the right direction after the uptick that we saw due to the hurricanes and strikes in October, moving back down to where it had been. So we're really seeing a deceleration, but an orderly deceleration from a unsustainably hot labor market to a more normal labor market.
Mm-hmm. So, is there anything else that's coming up in the week ahead that's piqued your interest?
We're going to see like the NFIB optimism index, right? So we're going to see business confidence
Mm-hmm.
probably improving slightly, right?
Yep,
If
that'll be out Tuesday.
if inflation continues to ease, and I think that should improve slightly. So yeah, and then you got the producer price index, of course, very important on Thursday. Uh, should follow along nicely as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for next week. We're gonna get a Q3 productivity revision,
Mm-hmm.
and productivity remains above 2%. And so as long as that number is up, is roughly there at 2%, then of course I think again, inflation moving in the right direction, the economy still, I call it still the envy of the world, stable,
Yeah.
very stable, in good hands. Uh, and we got to give the credit to the Fed for just doing the job, sticking to their guns, despite everyone complaining about the economy, pointing fingers, et cetera, et cetera. The Fed really caught up, and just made up for the mistake of not raising interest rates sooner when inflation had ticked up back in 2021.
Right. Okay. Well, good points, and I appreciate your thoughts as always. For Dr. Orphe Divounguy, this has been Chris Krug. Subscribe to Everyday Economics and dozens of other high quality podcasts at americastalking.com.